Hey guys, it's Tootsie and I'm back with my senior year experience. Now the reason why I'm making this video a separate video because a lot happened in my senior year. Now, in my senior year, my first term in senior class, I was an assistant for the special ed education of gym class. I helped that out, so I really enjoyed that. And I am actually trying to remember all the classes I took. And I also was in women's self-defense, and so I had another tech gym class, and then I was also in women's new moves, which was a class for just women gym. It was a gym class for women because I didn't do too well in my gym classes when it was co-ed, because we did all this type of boy stuff, and I liked it about the new moves because it was about dance and yoga and meditation, and so that first term I was exercising a lot, chasing the special ed kids and then learning women's self-defense, because my women's self-defense class, it wasn't just about the physical things, it was also the mental things, so that I really enjoyed that class. And so those are 3 classes, and then trying to remember what else class I had my first term. I know there was my mediational class. It's 4. There's my special ed class. It's 5. I can't remember. And my second term in senior year was probably the hardest because I took nursing assistance at my school. They have like different types of courses like EMT training and all that. And that was one of the classes I took in first term senior year. I took first aid. Or was that 11th grade year? That may have been 11th grade year. I don't remember. Okay, and so my second term in senior year high school was probably the hardest because I had a lot of harder classes, and I took that nurse assistant. It was a 2-hour block class, so it was 2, instead of class, we had 7 hours of the day of classes. And so it was 2 of those classes, and so it was very hard. It was very hard keeping up. I kind of struggled because most of the girls in that class took EMT classes, and so they knew a lot of the stuff already about learning about being a nurse assistant, about taking blood pressure and all that stuff. And I never knew any of that stuff. And so that was pretty difficult. And it was also difficult because home life emotionally was hard because my dad, he was mentally sick for a long time. In my 10th grade year, he got cancer, and he went through chemotherapy. He got very sick from it, and supposedly his cancer went away. In senior year, we found out that in my second term that his cancer had came back. And he chose not to go through treatment again. And so he was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I'm struggling at school, and my mom, and I'm not really involved with it. My mom was mainly involved. I mainly was at school or stayed home because I was also very involved in Leo's. I was mainly focusing on myself. It wasn't that I would care about my dad. My mom and I both agreed that I didn't need to go with every time my dad had to go to the doctor or the emergency room because of some reason. Because my dad, he started really having trouble eating and swallowing food, and so my mom and I decided, I don't need to go there every time, and because going to the emergency room, you're gonna sit there for a very long time. You don't know how long you're gonna sit there, and I needed to focus, on sleeping because I have sleep issues where I had trouble falling asleep, and so any amount of sleep I get, I want to take, and so it was very hard that second term. I was really excited for my third term of high school because I had 2 open spaces that I knew about at the beginning of the year that I wasn't sure I was going to fill with. I probably was just going to fill it with some art classes. But since I took since I took, nursing assistant, they thought it would be a good idea for me to go volunteer at the nursing home where we had to go do our educational at nursing home learning, the same one. And so that's what I did my first 2 hours of my class. I would go to school, I would get picked up in the school van, and the school van driver lady would take me there, and then, I would have another one come, and she would pick me up when I was done. And so that was kind of nice in the morning. It was kind of like a nice it was kind of relaxing, it wasn't hard learning stuff. So I liked that a lot. And then when I came back for my third class, it was an art class, so I was glad in case there was traffic or something, or if a different lady had to come, if some lady, my regular driver, was gone for the day, and another lady, which it had happened where a different lady picked me up and she got a little lost. She was a little late showing up and a little late getting me back to school, but I didn't mind. But my art teacher, she didn't mind. Like, she heard about my situation and she didn't mind that because she thought it was a wonderful idea of what I was doing. And I kind of liked that because it's not a class you can fall behind in. You can always catch up very easily. And so and that art class was, what was it called? I don't remember what it was called. I can't remember what it was called. It was, crafts. It was like kind of crafting. So I learned a lot of craft things. I learned how to make these wonderful yarn balls, and it was all sorts of crafts. I learned lots of sorts of things of how to make certain crafts, and so I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and it was kind of nice. Another relaxation class, and it was really nice having like a kind of relaxing senior year, my third term, because of how sick my dad was, and so I didn't have to so hard and worried about what I was learning and stuff. And so it was another, and that was a choice class. I actually had all my art classes. Oh yeah, that's another thing I took, I think, was my senior. Yeah, I was talking about earlier, my first term in senior year. That was right. That was when I was talking about earlier how I couldn't remember one of the classes I took for my first term in senior high school, it was a cooking class I took. Yeah, that's what it was. What was it? Second term? I don't know. And so by the way, I had all my art classes already in because I took them earlier in my school system year, and so it was just another one to take because I wanted to take it. And then my fourth class of the day in my senior year was money management class. It was supposed to help me teach me. I was hoping it was going to teach me, how to write out a check, how to manage a checkbook, how to pay the mortgage and all that stuff if I could afford one. And it didn't really teach me about that stuff. It talked about work and sexual harassment and a little bit about tax, how you have to pay your taxes. You got to fill out the sheet and claim and credit cards and stuff. And so it was okay. I learned a little bit, I mean, I'm okay that I took it, but I didn't really learn as much as I wanted to. And then, that's my fourth class of the day. And then and then I had my reading class. I had my my special education when I did my homework, and then I had my economics class. And the economics class was the only required class. I had to take all the other classes were our choice. I didn't have to take money management. That was elective. You could choose and take it if you wanted to take it to learn about stuff. I didn't have to take that art class because I already had all my art credits. And so it was a fun senior year last term because I didn't. I wasn't required to take these classes except for the economics, but I didn't have to take economics that term. It's just how it fell. I just signed up for it my senior year, and it's just how it fell. It just ended up the last term of the year. And no, it wasn't economics. That was 11th grade. I took economics. It was not economics. It was current issues. It was just the same teacher I had for economics. I actually disliked economics. I hated economics, and I absolutely hated it my 11th grade year. It was actually current issues, and I was so worried I was going to do so bad in current issues because I did so poorly in economics. But I actually did really well in current issues because I realized, oh my gosh, it's about the issue that's going on in the world right now, and it's all opinion based. It's all your opinion and what you believe should happen. And I absolutely love that. And so it was, and like, you know, since it was so hard at home life right now, it was so nice to have such an easy senior year. And that's why I suggest, you know, beginning of the year, you know, work yourself out, you know, in the beginning of your high school year, get all your requirement classes done. If there's a way you can take night classes, go for it. If there's a way you can take classes during the summer and get things done early, I suggest doing it, because that way, when you get to that senior year, you can have a nice, fun senior year. Senior year is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, that way you can focus on the college if you choose to, or focus on going into the workforce, which or starting your own business, whatever you're going to do. That way you can focus on that. Or if you don't know what you're going to do, that way you can focus on that and decide what you want to do. And so, senior year, you know, it was just, I was so glad that it was such a nice senior year that I could focus on at home with my father, because my father, he did pass away right at the beginning of my 3rd term, and so he did die of his cancer. It did take his life. And so my dad had stomach cancer. It was in his esophagus, and like, you know, he was told it was gone, and then all of a sudden, you know, my senior year, like I mentioned earlier, that it came back. And it came back full force, and my father, he didn't want to go through chemotherapy again. And so he chose to go. He chose, you know, he knew he was going to die. He knew it was going to come. And me and my mom, we knew it was going to come, and we were going to be very sad the day it came. And so that was kind of my senior year experience. Even though it was a little sad and stuff, like, I was just so glad that I had such a nice, easy senior year. You know, that I got all that work done, so that way I had time to grieve. I had that time. I didn't have to worry about all these tests coming up. There was only like one class I had to worry about the test, and that was current issues. That was like the only one I had to worry about. I didn't have to, you know, I volunteered in the morning for 2 hours a day. You know, there's no test there, you know. My art class, there was no test there, and I loved art. I loved making things, so it was very relaxing. So that I didn't have to worry about. My money management class, I had to kind of worry about my test from money management class, but I kind of, like, I already knew the stuff, and it was easy. I don't think I even studied for money management class, because I just kind of knew the stuff. And so I was just glad, you know, it was so nice and stuff. And so, and my prom, you know, senior year, I had fun. I actually, like, almost cried when I saw the dress I was bought for. I saw it. I walked in to Deb's. That's where I bought my prom dress, from Deb's for senior year. And I just saw the mannequin, and it was just so beautiful. It was beautiful. It was, like, you know, strapless. It was purple, changing color. It had the tight corset and the lovely light, not too light, but not too much, like, jewels on it. And it had the kind of scrunching up of the fabric, which I love. I literally started tearing up, but I was by myself when I walked in there. I was just looking around. I didn't expect to buy my dress that day. I didn't expect to. And so I had fun. And, you know, same guy my 11th grade year, same guy, my boyfriend, he came with me our senior year, and we had fun. I had more fun my 11th grade year, though. I think it's because of different people I went with. And so that was my senior year. You know, I didn't plan to go to college. I was planning on getting a job as a nursing assistant, because I got my license test my senior year in my 3rd term, and I got my license. That is it, guys. That is it. That was my senior year experience. So you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tootsie2525, same with Fred, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.